Yeah.
But I think Empire certainly have the edge, but it really depends. Do the Morph and Quap pop off? If Yatoro Toronto end this game with less than 3.5 deaths combined, they'll win.
That's very specific.
Incredible.
I think they have a bit more leeway than 3.5 deaths.
We could say 4.5?
I think they have leeway for sure. I'm not going to guess some random number.
Over, under 4.5.
Each? Or combined? They have more leeway than 3.5. They can each die a couple of times.
Okay, well, thank you very much. We're going to find out how game two rather, is going to play out. Will there be a third game in the series, or will TSpirit roll over Team Empire with the 2-0? We're finding out together with Sven and Tiga.
Thank you, panel. I learned a lot about the odds and whatnot of deaths that nobody could answer definitively. Sven here with T-Governor. How are you doing, T? I forgot to ask you in game one.
I'm doing splendid. Thank you for. How are you doing? Are you doing
terrific? Just fabulous. Thank you for asking. So, panel kind of talked about it, but the Omni Knight with Sven and even, I mean, the old school combo is actually Omni Knight Storm with Repel, where it was just magic immunity. Still, I mean, Effie was talking about it a bit as well. Still a pretty good combo, since he's going to be initiating in. Nice here to have a bunch of status resistance, so it does feel like a very, very good Omni game.
Yeah, we've seen Omni Knight throughout the tournament so far, mostly paired with Sven, but it's the idea that you buff up that hero, you run him in, and you take those cheap fights and you keep going. The main thing is you need to cushion it with multiple ways to start a fight so that you don't feel like you're at a disadvantage because you have this kind of enabling support. Like Omni Knight in the game, he doesn't really do much other than go on buddy, you go take that fight. So this draft from Empire is a big, you know, stemming from the previous the evolution, where they were able to just identify their problems and they've simplified their game now. You know, they've gone for the Storm to jump in, Omni's enabling everyone. The real question is, will Sven go for a Blink Dagger this game, or will he not? Again, we'll find out. I'll think about that as the cast develops, if he needs it or not, but I think 90% of the time you can just say, yes, please buy it.
Yes, for sure. They do have a lot of blink cancels technically, but considering the way that they were fighting last game, you're just blinking from like the fog anyway, so it's, I would expect it, but we'll see. You never know. I do want to talk a bit about Collapse's axe. So my boy got hit pretty hard in the patch with the whole shard situation, so you basically just can't play him as carry anymore, which I know a lot of people are very happy with. I'm not in that camp. Very sad indeed. Do you think shard is... Have you even seen it in a game?
I've not seen it in a game yet, no. Yeah. The main thing here is the hero has lost his ability to use the shard, which was the illusions, would right click and spin as well. So you push everything out, you incorporate the entire map as your own farm. The main thing here is now Axe is back to the old days where you're just going to go for Blink, Blade Mail, BKB, like maybe you go for like the Vanguard. Like, you can buy just tanky stuff again. And that is critical here because Collapse in this game with this type of draft and spirit, Collapse has to have a perfect start to the game. He needs to have that quick Vanguard, Blink, pairing up with the Quap, getting these early kills with the Hoodwink. And if this lane doesn't go that well, it will be pretty hard because, like we mentioned, you don't have that farming mechanism, which is the shard to just kind of catch back up in these early games.
Yeah, that is true. So I guess you're right. It is kind of like the old Axe now.
Yeah.
We've just lost the versatility. Now he's just a one-shot pony, or I don't even know what the saying is. I just made that up, but I'm sure that you get the idea.
It's because ponies do shoot.
That's true.
They have guns akimbo. Wielded.
American ponies.
Yeehaw.
What do you think of Morphling this game, in this matchup?
It goes well for the principle of Spirit, which is we want to kite Sven. You know, you pick a carry that can bind himself, you know, dip in and out of the fight, choose what he wants. They mentioned on the panel as well, like the tankiness of heroes. I think the E-Blade build, it could run into problems if you're not rolling over the game, and potentially just having like Manta, Satanic, you know, Butterfly, Skadi, and just having the right clicker that Spirit can kind of prop up and push into the fights might be better. You know, so far on the quick buy, we see him with the Treads, the Morbid Mask, and the Manta, so maybe going just for that route, because I think that is your stable way to play the game. I think going for the E-Blade is just because you're going to run into too many issues. It's like all your eggs into the basket of let's blow up a hero. And
oh, I mean, speaking of eggs in one basket, I don't know if I qualify here as this, but typically Quap, and again, we had this discussion briefly in the last game, but typically picked up as a hero, at least historically, is I win my lane against pretty much every other hero, and then hopefully I snowball.
Yeah, that's pretty much
the panel was kind of talking about the importance of that. We're going to see the Stormhammer come in, Mira, inside the trees, but First Blood goes the way of Vanscore.
Steps up a little bit too far and then does get beaten down. We've seen some lanes with Sven Omni actually go for an Ob of Venom, but we're not seeing that here. That is simply just Mira being a little bit out of position and then getting slapped down by the Purification and the right clicks of Sven. But yeah, going back to your point about the Quap, it's very much a hero that it thrives on bullying the mid and then also farming your lane, utilize that small camp. But you see how the Storm's ready to press kid, he's changed up his playstyle. He's fully ditched mid lane. You can't beat me if I'm just jungling. Don't do this in your pubs, guys. Don't just default go to jungle straight away on Storm. But like, it's the idea that why give Spirit this last pick advantage of the Quap? Let's just get our own farm. Like, Storm's game, he needs to get that quick orchid, or maybe even just like the Kaya Sanj to be even tankier with the status of this. Like, he needs to be able to enter the fights. And if he was just sitting mid, he would be on his high ground and be farming 2 out of every 4 creeps. So I like the fact that he's just ditched the lane and it's just a farm war, which Storm will win if you just go jungle for jungle.
Well, piggybacking off that point, the fact that Toronto Tokyo already put 2 in Shadow Strike means he's going to be farming way less effectively as opposed to him going a max of Scream of Pain early, right? But my assumption is that the Breast Kid went mid to make sure that Shadow Strike was actually leveled, and then he went for jungle.
Yeah, and now we're seeing the effect of just jungling because Storm's having to run back to base, Quap isn't, and surprisingly, like, they're even on net worth. And this is just like a pure jungle Storm compared to like the hero in the lane. And then the
that sets a very bad precedent for pubs.
It does, yeah. Just give up on the lanes, guys. The jungle's where it's at. But of course, Dota 101, if you're jungling compared to laning, of course, the person in lane will have more XP. So Quap will be activated a little bit earlier in this game, maybe seeing that rotation in to help collapse and mirror in this off lane, because it's not as, going as great as expected.
Yep. And Toronto Tokyo is going to be able to get the second water rune on the buy. I believe he got both, in fact.
He's having a free time.
Yeah, it's just like he's playing against bots and they just don't remember to come out of fountain.
You're not pinging correctly to corral the bots into the right place of the map.
All right, from Team Spirit's perspective, do you want to try to find this Storm in the jungle before he hits 6? Like, how much resources do you want to invest into trying to get this guy?
It's too difficult to do that because Dota is a game where like you're very much locked into like 2-1-2, right? Unless you see the unconventional like tri-lane situation, which opens up a support cleave earlier. When you start as double heroes in dual lane, breaking that is, you're going to naturally let that core be hindered. So I think right now, it is going to be just Storm having his time chilling and farming. And from Tokyo, you can't lose a lane if no one's in it, and you can't also win it.
Oh boy, Mapochka goes up with no HP mid, and Depreska is going to get the kill as a result, but it's going to be a trade with the Shadow Strike, will not get out, so it's a 1-for-1.
All right, you know what,
I actually don't know if that was good.
I was flabbergasted over Mapochka just poking his head up.
Yeah.
It was like, please take me, oh almighty jungle Storm.
Well, maybe he was just surprised that he was even 6 coming out of the jungle.
Yeah.
I mean, he has been leveling pretty decently.
We get to see it here. Depreska just, well, thank you. You're just offering yourself up to me. But of course, Toronto Tokyo with the ultimate and then Mira being in position is able to get the kill.
If the bushwhack wasn't there, maybe
he just zips out. Yeah. That would have been amazing. That would have warranted a tip for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt. As Collapse, 12 seconds faster on the old Vanguard special here.
And this is what you want to see. And also the biggest weakness of Omni Sven, you don't really, you don't crush lanes, you don't win lanes. You just kind of exist and farm. And it's like why, Warlock Spectre, Omni Knight plus Sven, Ench plus anything. You're always just kind of like enabling. And that's for Vanscore. He's trying to find his efficiencies right now on the map, make up some stacks. If Collapse just pokes his head over and steals him, Vanscore is going to be pretty upset. But
yeah, indeed. Well, another aspect of the game where, like, Axe versus Omni Knight actually feels pretty good in general, right? Because Counter Helix is pure damage, so guarding Angel doesn't bother you.
Yep.
Heavenly Grace is a hard dispel, but it actually does not take off Berserker's Call, so the Heavenly Grace has to be placed before the call in order to get the status resist applied from the call, right? So
it's also immediate support that's going to immediately carry, so like positioning could unlock Axe to hit these bigger calls. We've seen Omni's maybe go for Aether Lens.
See a call there, Vanscore has to use the Purification, and Collapse is going to go back to hitting creeps. He is the top farmer in the game right now. Smiling Knight not too happy about this, though, as looks like Collapse really doesn't care.
No.
There's a Sven here. It's like, all right, what do you think you're going to do, buddy?
This is the type of positioning, and you can learn from this, where it's like he's playing in a way that if he dies, it's the Phoenix and the Storm or the Mars coming down Arena. And these are big rotations, big spells. Where Collapse dying, it allows this Morphling to keep farming, allows Co-op to hit that next wave. So the way that Collapse is playing, it's like, if you kill me, my 2-cores farm. If you don't kill me, I'm going to be top net worth in the game. Phase, Vanguard, Blink. So yeah, it is just an aura of confidence, and it's a natural way to play this hero when you got such a quick Vanguard.
Yeah, it feels nice. It feels nice to play this hero, especially when Vanguard is actually good, which, you know, historically speaking, that hasn't always been the case, but for the last couple patches it has been. Is Depressed Kid gonna take a Sonic Wave and a right click from Toronto Tokyo. So panel talked about him popping off potentially, and we're seeing that right now as Vanscore gets caught out by Mira to start things out, but don't think they'll be able to chase him down any further.
And they do know the stacks are there, so maybe. But no.
Collapse of Stormhammer with the God Strength into the Purification. Mira quite fast, and with that Bushwhack, yeah. But again, Smiling Knight, like you said, there's a stack here, so no worse for wear.
He farms the stack, but then meanwhile Collapse being very efficient on his hero, always taking the creep wave, connecting it with a jungle camp as well, which means you have this kind of dire creep wave pressure, and he's always just, you know, look at him, 4.4k net worth, living the dream.
All right, enemy stacks now. I mean, it's not a huge one by any means, but
better than
Smiling Knight will still be happy with that regardless. And Toronto Tokyo, we're going to see the initiation here from Depressed Kid. Mira, yeah, with the Stormhammer. Well, some evasion there, but they do get him in the end. So you can see the vision here is finally taken out by Miposhka. But looking at the item timings for Toronto Tokyo, we're actually going to see the impact move for Mr. Queen of Pain. Justin, look at this.
That was an impact observer play as well.
That's clutch.
I think production just flexing that they caught the spell, if anything.
I think we need to rename it to Observer Clutch.
Can we get a picture of JJ or Scriff there rather than Toronto Tokyo?
Yeah,
T-Tors were very close, but...
Here we go with the Observer Clutch 2021.
Right. Now they're flexing that they have 2 observers.
All right,
that's just filthy.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Very impressive. Maybe we can see that one more time in about 10 minutes with no context whatsoever, as we're going to see Vanscore trying to deny himself to the Ancients, but Toronto Tokyo will take that one for himself. So Orchid is pretty decently close, only a couple minutes away probably from finishing that, and expect him to snowball from there. The push is going to initiate from Depressed Kid into Shoshlo's Spear, and that is a 1-for-1 across the board, so 2 supports.
Yeah, the way that Depressed Kid's playing now, he feels like he's under pressure of the quad. Yeah, I know what you're checking for, don't worry. I've already had a little look. There aren't any of the pig poles.
No. It's a fairy
don't
trinket.
Say no to me. You were actively looking.
No, I was looking for fairy trinket. I was wanting to make sure he picked it up.
Oh, please.
This did get nerfed. It's 25 less HP.
Crazy.
But for a Storm Spirit, this is the best tier 1 item. You usually keep it through the tier 3s, I want to say, on average.
There's nothing really else that you need in replace of that. But yeah, Storm now has the fairy trinket, like you expertly mentioned, but it's the idea that he wants to dodge the jungle now and actively try and connect with his Mars, try and make some moves, because right now Spirit's the one that they're farming every lane, making every move, and look at Collapse. He is the biggest of all actors. Maybe he goes down to a rotation here.
Yeah, with the Storm coming in as well, already half HP, and finally taking out the pesky Collapse. And that'll feel good. Like, after a whole game so far of just having to deal with his garbage, Vanguard just running around, just being unkillable, it's got to feel good.
Yeah, the key thing there is, like, it's been 11 minutes of Collapse having his own game, and you needed to kill him at least once, so that in the back of his mind, he's like, can I farm there again? Because Storm didn't have to use TP for that. He walked down and then zipped into the engagement.
Yeah, quick fingers on that Quelling Blade.
Very nice.
Very impressive to do this. Yeah, more stacks.
Is he going to die, though, for this? There is
gets a good portion of them, but now Toronto Tokyo and Yatoro have made their transition over, and Collapses here as well. And the Sonic Wave, not quite enough, but the Culling Blade is enough indeed, as Vanscore now going to get chased down. Wrong place, wrong time. Just trying to help his teammate, but Omni Knight will end up dropping. So Toronto Tokyo is dominating right now, and I believe his Orchid is on the way. Yep, 4-0.
But if you check the Storm as well, only like 150 gold goes away. So we're going to have a jungle Storm versus a laning Queen of Pain.
That's a nice stack too.
That's a big stack.
And Mira's going to steal some XP. Depressed Kid, all right, Sharpshooter trying to dodge it. Oh, very successful. It's that fairy trinket, man. Just having it gives you the confidence that you need to sidestep Sharpshooter.
I wish I had a camera on my face right there. My whole body
that was like
sunk.
A cringe.
That was a big cringe.
It's true, though. Confidence takes you a long way.
Yeah, that's true.
Fake it till you make it, T-Gov.
Yeah, that's what I believe 33 said on his.
Radiant's
Absolutely.
tower is under attack.
Look at this.
See the the replay of the sharpshooter.
Yeah, but like that extra, the extra 75 HP from the fairy trinket, giving him all the confidence in the world.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
What a god, actually.
Yeah.
Beautifully done. Oh, speaking of which, Mira now getting chased. Smiling Knight already used the Storm Hammer. We have the Phoenix here as well. Sharpshooter to give them a little bit of distance, but the spear.
He wished he had a fairy trinket. That's 75 HP.
That's true. It was very close to not dying.
Are we actually, do we have no pick holes?
I don't think so.
That is, wow. The game heard to about pick
I would
holes.
like to make a request to Valve, if they're watching, that when a pig pole is picked up, like from the jungle, have an oink sound globally. As we're going to see an easy kill onto Miposhka. Smiling Knight still in that god strength. It's just tapering off now.
The nice thing right now from Empire is they have invaded these stacks early on. So Storm's going to have to find his Orchid. Sven has now gone himself to top net worth. And they are playing in a way that they can just keep chaining these early kills together. And this is going to be the Orchid reveal on Storm Spirit. Only able to potentially kill Mira here.
Oh, but the counter silence, but you can see the beautiful Heavenly Grace is there. Toronto is going to get stuck inside the Mars Arena with the spear, but a big call from Collapse. The GA to follow, though. It looks like Depressed Kid's going to get out. Quap, though, that's the big one that they really wanted. Just able to get out after the Mars Arena dissipate. Collapse, getting chased a little bit more. Depressed Kid has the haste, he's going to get silenced, but yeah, there's the hardness spell. Demo's Grace is there. All right, spear. Gotta be careful. There's a full embrace, but the Morphling dies, and now Collapse limping away, just ticking ever so slightly. Looks like he'll live. That is a huge kill. Very unexpected, too.
Well, the Morphling was shifted all the way into Agi, and then he got cold embrace, so he just kind of sat there like, I'm dead. And they had just enough magical damage to eat through the cold embrace, so unfortunate for Miposhka there, killing off his Morphling. And you saw Spirit, like the reason why they wanted to take that fight is because the innate tankiness of Morphling, you can kind of bait them into the dive, and then suddenly the Axe Call comes in, Quap playing on like 400-500 HP, hoping for a big ultimate, but it never really came into play, and now they're back to mode farm. But yeah, Empire playing with a little bit more conviction right now, due to the simplicity of like Storm go in, just follow up, and like we're yet to see like the arena, the Yegg really come into play and just like truly dominate a fight. A lot of skirmishing right now from Empire.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, we get to see the replay. Ooh,
yeah.
good.
All right. Let's look at the damage here for the old Storm Spirit Depressed Kid.
Great call.
Man, I cannot believe Toronto got out of this. He was like a right click away from falling.
Really trying to go for a series MVP so far. You know, game one, you know, carrying the team, in game two, pretty good calls thus far.
It was a definite lifesaver there.
Do we get to see the replay which extends all the way to here? Oh no. Luckily they didn't make an impact play though.
This was big though.
But let's see here, look, he's shifted down in Agi and instantly cold embrace. So unfortunately, like if he was able to hit strength, probably fine there, but very minute plays there which really transpire to Spirit's downfall.
Yeah, Smiling Knight on the Sven, Echo Saber Blink. You talked about at the beginning of the game. We're going to see initiation here again into the mid lane with that Orchid and Shoshlo. Just enough. The Press Kid does get credit for that one, though. So 2K network lead now for Empire. But here's the counter call. Collapse only finds one, but it is a Storm Spirit. They can find this. Would be pretty huge. Indeed, they can with the Sonic Wave Orchid combination. But Smiling Knight has come in with a nice Winter's Curse. That'll keep them at bay for now. Toronto Tokyo is pretty happy with this position on the high ground. Smiling Knight just getting kited with that Shadow Strike. Toronto Tokyo very confident. He's getting healed with that Shadow Strike, mind you.
Massive heals.
Very, very big heals.
Let's see the healing stat at the end of the game. How effective it was, please.
For sure. And they're posturing a little bit here. Smiling Knight still has his God Strike active. He's going to jump in. The Wyvern not able to take him out. The Cold Embrace on himself. Beautifully done. That's just enough time to take out Smiling Knight now. So jumps into no avail. Now the egg comes through. Actually goes off, surprisingly.
Okay.
But in the end, TSpirit gets an enormous kill on the Sven.
The key thing is they are missing their big damage source, which is the Storm Spirit. They're going for like these initiation plays, but it's in like inside the tree line, right? You're blinking in, you're losing fog, you're getting back on them. It is not the cleanest engagement for Empire, and but at least they're showcasing that they have that threat. And Spirit, they bring in Charo for the first time in the fight. Oh, the healing done. That's a meaty 3. Wow.
You know, each
selfish though.
Each tick of Shadow Strike is a water rune now. 40 HP is another jump in from the Press Kid. Yeah, this is going to be a freebie every single time that he's in vicinity. But a nice call from Collapse into the Sharpshooter. and a Culling Blade for Collapse. So it's a 1-for-1 on the respective supports.
Empire needs to be careful though, because right now they are playing a very generic style of if support hero shows, execute them with the Storm Spirit, kill them. But the thing with their lineup is the Omni Knight is great at enabling, but he needs to be in range, right? And when Storm jumps so far back, like there isn't that +1 to help them out. Like when Sven gets Blink and BKB, sure. When Mars has Blink BKB, sure. But right now they need to make sure the kills they find aren't too deep into Spirit, because like they are happily going to be in position. And like the way that Empire's playing right now, they might have Sven at top net worth, but Spirit is farming so much more effectively. Like Collapse, he's put himself in a position where he's not actively pushing out lanes anymore. He's like just playing behind, casually farming, and it's the Quap, it's the Morphling, the high mobility heroes that are playing on the fringe of the map and then TPing in. Like Collapse is playing a really clean game, ensuring he's able to at least turn around these earlier engagements that Empire need to kind of find in their draft.
Yeah, for sure. And the question is, who gets the first Roche?
The team that smokes first and gets a pick off. Like,
neither team are crazy Roche takers. It's not going to be an instant one. As we see, this is going to be the rest of the game. You have the Heavenly Grace applied to somebody that might get called so that he doesn't get called.
Might not, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if they're called, he's just not going to... Or if he's Heavenly Grace, he's not going to go for the call.
Oh wait, I just realized that is the play. This is the first time that the Omni Shard could be useful. He leaves it on autocast, doesn't right click anything. The axe calls him and the guy going on damage mitigation to keep the axe from doing any damage in the call.
Incredible.
Relying on everyone else. This could be the one and only time that the shard works.
Incredible.
Thank you very much.
Not good.
It's rather bad.
Yeah, not good.
It's pretty...
That's interesting. Toronto Tokyo used... for some reason, I thought he had Ags just because of how confidently he uses Sonic Wave on a Creep Wave top. And just backed up. And, I mean, it's not the shortest cooldown.
But this should bait in Empire to take a fight mid, so Spirit's in position, then...
Okay.
They could look for the engagement.
All right, Smiling Knight feeling better. Oh, there's the initiation. Kind of didn't lay their stuns properly, but it looks like he's going to be okay. As Depresky jumps in again onto the Wyvern. Will this be enough to get the kill? The Stormhammer and the right click indeed. And now two stuck inside the arena for Shoshlo, but Yatoro looks to be super healthy, and they're just going to walk away. So again, just a Wyvern kill. But that is the hero you have to get at the beginning of the fight, it feels like.
Yeah, this is why I think I like the idea from... trying to see if I need to validate. Oh, nice. 10 minutes ago, we saw that. We did request that. Thank you very much, production. The no context Sonic Wave. You mentioned, but I think you mentioned Quap using it a lot.
I actually forgot about it. I'm so confused. Man, production trolling the crap out of it. That's good stuff, guys.
Yeah. So
Very
30 minutes, we'll see the top creep wave one, and we'll talk about how that farm pattern at 20 minutes unlocked her 50-minute engage.
For sure. Yeah, Tokyo looks like they're going to find potentially a kill here. And yeah. So now that they're all here, we'll likely try to go for this tier 2 tile. The question is, will Empire try to defend?
I think Empire, they're not going to look to defend because they have no egg, they have no god strip, they have no arena, and of course we mentioned the itemization from Morphling. Not going for the E-Blade, it would have somewhat griefed the game. Just going straight for the Manta into a Satanic potentially, or the Skadi that he had in his quick buy prior to that. So really ensuring that he's just able to frontline and just tank up this damage.
Yeah, if you get Satanic, that's 2 dispels. So you don't have to worry about Orchid. In case you want to use Manta to farm and you don't have it up.
Yeah, doing like greedy. Yeah, just like Tokyo using Sonic Wave. Yeah, TSpirit.
Yeah,
just playing the
maybe he thought he had Ags on Quap.
Maybe he misclicked. He was just trying to scream and did the wrong scream. He just screamed a little bit too loud.
Maybe. By the way, we haven't really talked about this, but the shard on this hero just feels... This feels like you have to buy at some point in the game, right? The silence applied to Blink.
Again,
that's crazy.
The nice thing about shards, and I think the best shards and stuff, are ones that change up your playstyle once you're already like tanky enough or have a place in the game. And like this is the type of shard, but once you've got BKB, Shivas, and you're able to get in and out, having that extra little bit of silence, that AoE, it is very disruptive for sure. But you need, like, I like this kind of itemization. Like a Kaya Sanj, a Lincoln's, or a BKB or something. You go for the casual shard.
Okay. Looking forward to it. As Collapse is going to get collapsed upon by Team Empire. He is quite tanky, but this is basically their whole team, so...
Oh, wow.
Won't be able to take him out.
I don't like using the phrase, but uncharacteristic positioning from Collapse there, because he's been playing so nicely in the jungle behind his team, counter-initiating. But that kind of like Rambo style of like radiant tier 1 aggression, it is the type of move that unlocks Roshan. And like we mentioned, how easy is it to do Roshan for either team? I mentioned like smoke ganks and kills and that stuff, but when you play like that, then it just simplifies the game for Empire.
Yeah, if you're able to get a kill with your God Strength and then still have it up to go for Roche, then absolutely.
Sure, yeah.
And now you have the best Aegis carry in the entire game is Storm Spirit. Depressed Kid. They have vision here. Yatoro. In all agility, he's going to jump in, but the Orchid not quite there. Of course, he has the Manta anyway. He's going to reserve the Orchid for Mira.
Collateral damage. Mira, of course, playing there just to enable the Morphling to survive. If they play there, just kind of the support life. You gotta die for your team. And it is always comical when these Sven players, they play one game as Sven, don't buy a blink, and the next game they rush it second item. They're like, what? This is good. So now we're seeing Smiling Knight. We've not really seen it have impact yet, but he's very happy to take engagement. X-Saber, BKB, Blink Dagger. Then he's going back for his Silver Edge.
All right. So how does this work exactly? So you jump in, you Stormhammer, then you use Silver Edge to just get a crit. Is that even worth it?
I honestly would just, you still have a crit default because you have the Chrysalis. I'd rather him just...
But it's like a weak crit, right? It's not like a Daedalus.
Like, crits can be any size they want to be, you know?
Right. Shout out to EG.
Yeah, he could be a big boy crit or a little boy crit. That's whatever crit wants to be. But anyway, yes. Pop up, blink in, hit the stun, and then you can then kite in and out of the fight with the Silver Edge. I think it just gives, like, options in the fight. That's the key thing, right? Like, you don't need to force yourself down the route of I need to Shadow Blade in, get the right click. This is the nice way of doing it.
Right. It's not like you're breaking anything like super, like I guess counter Helix is the best you'll get from the break, so it's not really in the line of thought at all.
See what he's doing here? Like, he's running around using the move speed, poking his way in.
That's true. I mean,
like, also the last
Shadow Blade in general just gives you an ability to use Blink Dagger more effectively.
Exactly, yeah.
Big call here. Oh my, that's the Aegis though. See if the counter initiation is here from Shoshla. Has his Blink, Margarine as well. Smiling Knight. Oh, Cold Embrace on the Mira is going to delay this kill just a little bit. Might get the two supports. But for an Aegis, not the worst, honestly.
Yeah, it's really what they can get into this. They use the Sven God Strength, so now they need to look to actually try and take an objective. Because like this type of play from Spirit, like you're delaying, of course you take the Aegis, right? But Empire is going to feel a little bit uncomfortable. They did trade Aegis for two supports. Like killing Morphling here or Axe, now they're looking at maybe tier 2 mid into tier 1 bot. But killing both supports off, you can't like chain multiple objectives next to each other.
Middle tower has fallen.
Yatoro did finish that Satanic, by the way, and is that going to be an E-Blade or is that a Butterfly?
Now he's going to... Okay, now he's going to...
So there's E-Blade.
So he's kind of doing like a bit of a best of both. Normally, like, you don't see them go for Satanic before. It's like Manta E-Blade, or it's like Manta, Skadi, Butterfly, Satanic, like one of those variations. But the fact he's gone for Manta Satanic just to survive, then he's going for a shotgun.
And it can be used defensively as well to kite Sven, right? To save a target since he's all physical damage anyway. Just like Cold Embrace, E-Blade, it's just so much delay on getting Sven a kill.
Yeah, as they finally will pick off this Phoenix here.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Story is in the vicinity to collapse with the initiation. Only gets a couple, but that is more than enough. It's a lot of damage. Still, the supports are dead. But the thing is, I feel like the Wyvern for Spirit is like the hero you need for team fight. Yeah. And on the other side, it just has to be Omni Knight. But this is so crucial to their strat.
This is why the hero is so popular in the previous patch. Of course, like the physical damage, the aggressive core style of Wyvern's been nerfed, but like the supporting Wyvern's still the same hero, and it has the same principle of like an Oracle. In the game, Empire's one job is we must find the Wyvern. If we don't jump Wyvern, we cannot take a fight. And I think that's kind of why Empire again baited in some of these engagements, because like they see a glimpse of a Poshka and then suddenly it's like, oh, we're now in an awkward position. As they jump Quap though, do they have the damage for this? I don't think they do.
Yeah. He did take him to half HP though. He's trying to cut the wave here.
They're just, hitting on bottom.
All you have to do is Shadow Strike with the AoE and you're back to full HP.
20,000 HP restored.
Absolutely.
Checking on that, thank you.
Yeah. Gonna see some damage. Quap damage this time around, okay.
It's not the Sonic Wave in top lane, but still.
Sure. Front of Tokyo, let's see. Jump in, there you go. Some more damage applied, very good.
It's a bit unfair they're calling this a fight though. There's not really a fight.
Not really.
Just a poor support getting run around.
And he ended up baiting his team. It's kind of like save your friend syndrome, right? For the most part, so. It is what it is. It's a Dota game after all.
But now Empire, they smoke up They feel like they should be able to win any big team fight, but Spirit are not offering them up right now, and this smoke might be the one.
Yeah, they're coming from above, and Toronto Tokyo is at base, so they have to be really careful here. Uh-oh.
There's the arena.
Yep. Oh, nice blink from Collapse. It's going to get stuck inside the arena. Now the jump in, they take out Wyvern immediately. Now Yatoro, with the waveform into blink, or into the TB, I should say, is successful. So, honestly, I have the game, but I'm sure we'll hit it.
I think it's a test. I think it's a test on the viewers. Like, are they actually watching?
What is this? Number 5 now. This is a very
can we pause it maybe like when he gets just about as he's going to die, like there maybe? No. You don't have the technology. That's really unfortunate.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Don't worry, guys. You didn't miss anything.
It's a little bit biased, I think. They're really reminding us that Storm died, right?
Yeah. He's having himself a pretty good game, though. I mean, despite that, he's like 1,500 down versus Toronto Tokyo, so not too shabby at all. Lincoln's now online, though.
Empire has to make sure that when they take a fight, if they locate the Wyvern, they don't use too many resources. Like, you can't have your Sven blink onto the Wyvern and the Storm zip, because then you don't have that next follow-up, that kind of +1.
Right.
And it is why the Morphling did go for this more tanky style of build, because he realizes, like, my Wyvern's going to be tanking a lot of spells as Phoenix flies off the map. This isn't broken, by the way, guys. It's just in the game. It is a feature, not a bug. Yep.
I actually have no problem with that one.
Okay, no, fair enough. I feel like the if you're able to do that, you should appear on the other side of the map, you know, because, you know, Earth isn't flat.
That would be an interesting mechanic.
Right now, Dota does, you know, promote flat Earth.
That is true. If it was a round, yeah.
If it was a round, he'd just appear on the other corner.
Or maybe there's just content yet to be released. That's why we haven't seen it.
Oh, so just over that hill is a whole new world.
Right.
Okay, but you're still in agreement that, you know, Valve and Dota very much are pro flat Earth.
No comment. No comment on that one.
Flying on a turtle through. Okay, just checking.
That sounds a little bit like Avatar, actually, so I wouldn't mind that personally.
A little bit like Star Trek. I'm just saying random words.
Sure.
I want to annoy one person by saying that, you know.
I'm sure you've done that successfully.
Yes. So, like, what?
We're going to see Blast Rig, by the way. I don't know who's actually picked it up right now. I have yet to cast the game with it. Looks like it might be going to Mars. Yeah, he's going to hold that for him. So what are your thoughts on this neutral?
The idea of the item is pretty cool because you are taking away the ability for some heroes to jump on top of you and instantly kill you, because the idea is that, like, it disarms them, but it's not like a halberd disarm, it's more like a debuff. Exactly.
Yeah,
missing.
it's like whirling axes.
Yeah, so in concept it's really nice to just put on your supports in some games. It just forces out the BKB, and I honestly just like it. It adds new layers for supports being able to survive later into the game.
Oh, Smiling Knight. All right, there's initiation. He has that status resist, but that is a lot of damage. Oh, and the falling blade to boot. Vanscore not in range for anything other than the original Heavenly Grace, and he's going to get chopped down as a result. So a double kill for Collapse. If there was Roshan, they would take it.
Crazy positioning from the Sven, right? Like, he's just all the way down in mid lane.
I mean, he feels safe with the Heavenly Grace.
That's not a BKB.
It's
a status resistance, and why BKBs are superior.
That's true.
And why we don't need status resistance. But anyway, yeah, like, the Sven is just in this, like, awkward position, and it doesn't really kind of, like, the main thing in Dota is, right, if you're pushing out lanes, you're showing, right? And the way in which Empire just played, Sven showed mid, he dies. Because of that pickoff, they now take this engagement bottom.
Yeah, the Press Kid actually comes in to save his comrade. Is going to do more than that. Actually destroys Toronto Tokyo, and pretty huge kill.
Looking for me.
Yeah. And the Phoenix doesn't even die here. Gets off the egg, Sun Ring into the other side of the map. You guys can't see it, but he is on the other side.
Yep.
But then TP'd back to base.
Yeah, of course, yeah, 100%. Yeah, he was smoked. But yeah, like, the way that Empire just played there, like, the fact that they were able to get the egg off and kill Quap, it is a kind of disaster mitigation. Like, okay, wow, we got around it, we saved our problem, but Spirit shouldn't be dying with a quad bottom, right? They kill a Sven for free, move together, sweep across the map, get more kills. So, of course, Empire being gifted a little bit there, but they need to respect that both teams, if you're out of position, there's going to be a quap jump, an axe jump. If you're out of position Spirit, there's going to be a storm zip. Like, wow.
Yeah, very quick. Showing off the Aghanim Scepter here. He's going to get Sharpshooter to the face. So it has the AoE Electric Vortex, which is a crazy Ags, by the way. Smiling Knight's going to get off the Storm Hammer, but looks like the Bushwhack will keep them at bay. And into Roche, potentially? It's not up, though. Not too long to go.
Yes, 30 seconds for Roshan, and Godstrength's going to be on cooldown for another 80
I mean,
seconds.
I was going to say, this would be a good fight, theoretically, for TSpirit now that God Strength is about to go away. So they do a 4-man smoke, and Quap, Toronto, Tokyo TPs into the outpost. Let's see if they can find something. How much vision does that acorn tree give?
You just saw it on your screen.
Okay. That's not bad, actually.
Yeah, it's
Definitely
like
a good Roche checker.
that's the same vision that the Underlord New Ags does as well, just in case anyone was interested.
Really, the building?
Yeah,
Fiends?
it gives the same vision, yeah. You can't play
Is it called Fiend's Gate?
Yeah, something like
That is a cool name.
That is a cool.
That's a really cool
The
name.
spell not as cool, but the name's pretty good.
I don't know. I mean, you have to buy Ags. That's,
Yeah.
if it was his ult, then that would be cool.
True, yeah, you bang that down.
Apparently that was Cinderan's idea, by the way.
Yeah, but like, you know, Cinder's idea when he forced a 2-second TP channel on it. If it was instant, that's kind of hype, right? But you've got to stand there, I'd like...
It would be too broken, I think.
Maybe.
Yatoro working on Roshan, about at half health right now as the courier gets destroyed.
Yep, people might be questioning why send the courier in. Well, of course it doesn't give vision, but naturally people are going to want to kill the courier for gold,
Right.
giving like indirect pseudo vision.
Spear into the tree. So we see a smoke from Empire now, 4-man smoke. Buffalo the only one not within it. God Strength is now back up, so they definitely can fight, and Smiling Light is looking to do just that. Mira hidden in the trees. Roche is still pretty low. There's the Storm Initiation, this time onto Collapse. Smiling Knight gets off the first damage onto that Hoodwink, buys back in the game immediately. But look at this, the press kick dies right off the bat. No buyback whatsoever, and this means Empire has to get the hell out of here. Smiling Light says that BKB activated. Can they get Toronto, Tokyo? But there's the Cold Embrace. Looks like the Sharpshooter will not connect. Collapse, not able to hit his Berserker's call. But alas, the Storm Spirit was the biggest kill by far in this fight. And they should be able to clean this up into Roche number 2, which means a shard.
Yeah, Empire just kind of emulating what the hindrance in game 1 was. It's the idea that, like, be it a Night Stalker, be it a Storm Spirit, you're jumping the backline straight, but you're not locking down the Winter Wyvern, and also you're forcing your team to kind of chase you into this choke point. And like in this engagement, the Sven, the Mars, the Storm, they all kind of jump onto where the Hoodwink was located. But Winter Wyvern, he's playing on the high ground area under his own vision with Obs and Sentry. So he's able to get that perfect Cold Embrace, able to get then the Winter's Curse, forcing Omni to get goals off. But we're not seeing the Arena and the Egg combo. And then, like you mentioned, the Storm just instantly dies. So yeah, for sure, the cleanliness of fight right now from Empire isn't really helping them out, and Spirit just making sure they always have good vision, they're positioned very well.
Cleanliness.
Yes.
So you don't like their hygiene in this?
No, yes, yeah.
Okay.
It's not up to scratch for sure.
Interesting. I've never heard anybody describe a fight like that.
Have you not? Like a clean fight is like,
Oh yeah, a clean fight, but not the cleanliness of that fight. I've never...
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be the next graphic that JJ creates, you know, the dirtiness of a fight.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's a good idea.
You like that, yeah?
Yeah, I do like that.
Scale of, like, you know, yeah. No, well.
Well, Smiling Knight, he is the top net worth, but when you're a... Okay, production shut that down pretty quick.
Well, I mean,
he is top net worth, but this is a hero that just farms out of control. You want to be up by a decent margin, right? Typically.
Yep. That's true. That's kind of an all in Dota, right? Having the advantage is pretty helpful.
Well, I mean, it feels like you can't win if you're not at a... Like,
No, yeah.
I wouldn't say it's like Alchemist level, but it's to a degree like that.
The thing is why I think Sven has not become a hero that is #1 in the entire patch right now is because he has this awkward moment in the game where when items come into play, it's easy to kite him, right? You can buy the Halberd if you want, you buy your own BKB, you buy Blink, Splinter's Force, like you're a hero that doesn't have great attack speed, so now suddenly you need a little bit of help. Like there's so many things for the hero to have the perfect game that when it gets very close, when it's, you know, on the cusp, you need that perfect initiation. And like heroes like Wyvern and Axe, they can really play around with you going into the later portion of the game. So the fact that it is very tied up, it honestly feels like Spirit's like got an extra 10k in the bank right now just because of how close the game is.
Yeah, I mean, in the last couple of minutes, it's been about a 6k net worth swing, I want to say. Still within reach for Team Empire, of course, but keep in mind, if they lose this, they're out of the tournament. So an elimination game for them, elimination series overall. As Sven now has his Scotty.
Just trying to deal with
Yatoro has his own.
Radiant's
But
middle
this is very
tower
much like
is
he's
under
itemizing
attack.
for him to fight Morphling, and he has to hope his team finds
Radiant
Wyvern.
structures are
Like he's not
fortified.
itemizing to kill the supports. So a lot of emphasis Storm with the smoke needs to locate Miposhka. You need to get rid of that threat at the start of the fight. If you don't, this could be, you know, a game-ending Rax loss for Empire if this goes wrong for them.
Yeah, look at all these sentries here.
And then vision in every point in the map right now for Spirit.
Yeah.
Every single lane, there's a dire observer.
They have a decent idea that they're here. Smiling Knight shows himself now. There's the collapse initiation into the E-Blade with the sharpshooter and the Sonic Wave. Not even needed. In fact, Collapse gets credit for that one. Egg is placed on high ground, and TSpirit's just going to walk away. So 70 seconds with no Mars.
And he had the BKB as well. Like when he initially, as the E-Blade was coming in, he had the choice to potentially mitigate some of that damage, but no, he just tanked it.
Yeah,
and that's now going to be a Rax down. This is one very hard kill to Morphling to kill, sorry.
Oh yeah, for sure. Ooh, gets the E-Blade off, but there's initiation now from Smiling Knight, but
where's the damage?
Yeah, not a whole lot of damage, and there's a jump in now from Depressed Kid. That'll certainly help. Again, this is just the Aegis if they're even successful in taking him out, but Collapse jumps over the Knight's Berserker's call. Yatoro, another waveform. Smiling Knight still on the outskirts here. There's the Aegis down and done. Toronto Tokyo again, already used his Sonic Wave, so I don't even think they can get this melee Rax now.
The real question is if they respect the fact that Sven does still have good strength, right? Without the Aegis, they might be a little bit more careful, but Yatoro doesn't really care. Comes straight back in.
It has that Lincoln's applied, and okay, they will get it. Not, oh, it actually was denied. Ooh, good tip there.
That's a good tip. That's a good tip. That is a clean tip.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you just get a free Rax. You're kind of giggling at the fact that they picked Sven 2 games in a row, and Collapse is really metagaming this. Ooh, refresher orb. Oh, hello.
My.
Look at the reaction though. Stone Cold Tipper.
That is sexy. Yeah, that's a
the curves.
double BKB, double call. My goodness.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I'm honestly a little bit surprised that we've not seen refresh a bit more in the patch, because the idea is like the build-up's pretty nice. And for some heroes, right, you are built around like just having that impact. And I like the fact that Collapse, like, with the fact that the Shard's not in play anymore, you are just an initiator, right? And now if you have this double cool factor, you can initiate on one, cool, refresh, go in deeper, and you just keep chaining your way in. So yeah, I like the kind of creativity here with the refresher.
5-man smoke by Empire now.
They do hit the scan onto TSpirit, so they know they're in the area.
Indeed. Yeah, good call there.
Thank you.
TSpirit. Absolutely no. Oh, on the high ground, in fact. So
nice smoke break.
Yeah, Toronto Tokyo does have a good location here, and with that, Empire just have to back.
And that's kind of the repercussion of when you smoke up and you don't have wards to kind of extend that vision with your smoke, you are naturally going to have it broken and feel lost in the engagement.
All right, Smiling Knight trying to go for the Morphling, and that's going to be a very difficult call. Collapse with a beautiful call with the Sonic Wave refresh call again. Double blade mail. I guess.
They whiffed it.
Yeah, they did a bit, but Yataro's still very healthy within the Mars Arena. Buy back out of the Wyvern now, but that's the damage we've been looking for. That is a dead Morphling. You can see the Hoodwink. Looks like they have Ags now. It has that boomerang, but surprisingly, TSpirit not able to find a kill here.
It's because of Maposhka.
Wow, that's blunt.
I'm not going to beat around the bush here. Boxman Collapse, mate. He got a refresher, right? He was hitting the double call. He had both the calls in lockdown. As he hits the second call to try and get the kill, Maposhka layers in with the Winter's Curse, therefore removing all that additional damage and just allowing them to basically survive. So unfortunately for Spirit, one misplay from Maposhka breaks down that fight, and now Empire with a little bit more confidence.
Collapse jumps in. This is without a Morphling, by the way, with that boomerang into the bushwhack as well. The Press Kid doing a lot of work on the back lines, though. Looks like Wyvern's going to be taken out yet again, and now Collapse might be taken out near his tier 4 towers. But the Press Kid has absolutely no mana to speak of. Boomerang is there with Collapse jumping in, gets the Culling Blade. So that is going to be a successful defense at the very least, and now Shocklow just TPing out.
Oh, that was so close.
Will be successful. It looks like the Culling Blade was on, I think he used it there, not within threshold.
Yeah, exactly that. Whew. Yeah, this game's looking pretty close now. But you can see how TSpirit, they have so much damage to kill heroes. It's great. But for Empire, when they start the fight...
I have yet to see this item. All right, we'll have to hold your horses there, but...
I'm holding them.
The Storm getting kind of caught out with very little mana.
Yep.
And then obviously the stun.
But this is like Empire, not really... It's not a matter of respect. It's like they're trying to push the limits right now. That's very close. Yeah. I can see another Sonic Wave in bot lane. Luckily not the one of Storm at that.
Yeah, I actually thought it was a replay.
I was really concerned. I was like, don't do it, production, don't do it.
All right, so who picked up the Witchbane? I have not seen this item yet. Looks like it's on Omni Knight.
Luckily, Dire, I believe, doesn't have one as of yet, because of course that removes GA. So whoever you're going on,
That's true.
that will just be just. Oh, wait, do they have one? No, they still have one neutral item available on TSpirit, so maybe they get blessed with the Witchbane.
Looks like they'll get the tier 3 at the very least. Empire does not want to buy back here on Storm. Only 10 seconds to go. It looks like things are going to reset here, but 8k net worth lead for Spirit right now.
They get the cloak instead. Yeah, Witchbane is like, that's the type of scenario where neutral items could be argued as like a terrible concept in Dota, because it's like against Omni Knight, if you get it, it's game winning.
Yeah.
But like they don't get it.
Well,
now we don't have
the
to
ones that they got rid of, a lot of those were in that vein.
Yeah, and I think this item here, it for sure is in contention of being the item that could be. We probably need to remove this, because like you have this big OE cleanse of, oh god, I'll never say that again. Purge. Shout out to Purge, he's here by the way.
The cleanliness of this item is off the charts.
Very clean. But yeah, like the concept of it could be very disruptive for the state of kind of the game.
Now Mars has a satanic one. He's really far. Holy crap.
Jumping in.
Yeah, jump in, but the counter silence is there. This is going to be a huge, my goodness.
Oh,
the press kid.
Beautiful tip.
Absolutely destroyed. Does have buyback though, but this will set some Vansor looks like he'll be cleaned up as
cleaned
well.
up, mopped up, removed from the game.
So you're going to have to buy back if you want to defend this rope number 3.
And I don't think you can, right? Look at the state of the map. You don't have outpost control. You don't have any out of tier 2 tab, out of tier 1 tab. We're going to see a replay though. Storm just jumping in. Doesn't have BKB. Toronto Tokyo very quick on the Orchid. But like, look at this. There's no vision here.
Yeah.
This is him just running.
That was like, I just have a feeling, and it just didn't work out.
Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, getting the Aghanim Scepter. We have
Now this is a refreshing inventory. Am I right? You know,
right. This is to counteract all the status resistance. Now that you have like 1.5 duration.
Phones this guy got. It's like 3 at once.
Pretty nice, pretty nice. So we'll see if he uses them in quick succession.
He just pops all of them in one quick.
I feel like getting the Ags on Storm maybe a little greedy in hindsight, right? Getting that BKB, you don't die there.
No, I think it's fine, honestly. It's the fact that he's playing as if he has a BKB, right? Like, if you buy an Ags, you need to play around the fact that Mars goes in first. You mentioned he has a Satanic, so he's the one jumping in first. If he gets jumped, pop Satanic, purge off the Orchid, play some Dota. But because he's going in first, that's what's making it look bad. So right now, Empire, they've got a nice timing. They just need to make sure they send in the right hero first.
Oh, Morphling already had the strength morph going, so he's going to brush this off like nothing's happening. Actually dodges the spear as well, so that's 2 racks, and there's no tier 3 here. So this might be the final stand for Empire in this tournament, potentially. There's the call. We're going to see how many times we use the refresher here on Collapse. Gets the BKB up. He's actually taking so much damage, though. Has to rock out of the Mars arena. There's the GA finally, but the press kit gets bursted down. Buys back in the game. Now the Aegis is down for the Morph. Jumping, he's completely surrounded. Looks like he'll be successful in getting out. The Toronto Tokyo was trying to save him, but he looks like he was fine, as is. Winter's Curse keeps him in place. And there's the call to follow. They're going to burst down the Mars. It looks like Sven is next on the list.
Got one more.
Choppity chop, down he goes. Buys back in the game, but with no God Strength, how much damage will he actually do in these fights? He jumped in, and you can see, there it is, not a whole lot. Bushwhack onto 2, collapse again with a call. You can see the boomerang from afar. Mira's just doing so much from all the way on the other side here. It's collapsed. Looks like they'll finally find him. And there is no 3rd racks.
Or refresher.
But, yeah, you do use a couple refreshers, but that was a lot of buybacks for Empire.
Yeah, and they're getting
22k net worth lead.
Yeah, they're getting punished for their misplays. Like, the state of the game is a product of Empire's misplay. Like, this isn't like Spirit making any great, like, amazing moves or anything. Like, they're playing very good, solid Dota, but it's Empire. The Storm zipping in, dying. Now they have to reset. They have to buy back. And of course, when you give away Aegis, like, Roshan is critical in these games. So for sure, Empire having to deal with their own mistakes, and then yeah, they just need to get up back out on the map. Maybe find a pick-off whilst Axe is dead, chain a couple kills. Like, if they find Miposhka here, they now can maybe look into the triangle. If they find the triangle, you own the entire map. But this is going to be a big uphill battle, and we are yet to see them just, I guess, have a clean execution of a fight, right?
Where's the body?
And that's the value of Aegis.
Yeah, I just feel... I'm not blaming the hero here, as we see Ascetics cap on Depressed Kid.
Don't worry.
But Sven just feels not great.
Again, like the key
It's
thing-
more about like the silver edge. It's just I don't know if the value is there.
No,
Like, it
but
hasn't felt any presence.
we need to look at Sven as a hero that like a reason why a core is good is because it can be your win condition. It opens you up to having a moment in the game. Sven has that, but unlike a Spectre or more like these bigger heroes that independently, like if I press Haunt, I will kill this hero. I will be able to play Dota. Sven, he can do that, but he needs so much control, so many stuns, because he gets kited so easily in the later portion of the game. So right now, the way Empire is playing, it does make Sven feel like an awkward carry, because like when he jumps into the fight, Spirit just disengage, or they use a curse, or they use a con embrace, and he's just isolated by himself. So, if anything, it's mainly on just the over-aggression, right?
I feel like it's more about the silver edge for me than it is Sven, actually, now that I think about it, because he's been using it as essentially a Shadow Blade to blink out of, right? You're not getting any break that's useful. You're not, like, the crit isn't that huge, as opposed to the Svens that we've seen in the past with the Daedalus. Like, they're just lacking damage.
Yeah, and again, it's so the idea that have we seen Empire with that perfect team fight yet, where they have the Sven, Silver Edge or not, initiating the fight with the Mars, then the Egg layered on top. Like, we haven't seen that yet, and we could probably argue that having a different item for just more damage compared to Infinity might be helpful, but in Empire yet to play that clean, beautiful fight.
Right, here's the initiation. Oh, silence right off the bat onto the Storm. So it looks like he's going to be fine, though. Going to force everything onto Collapse, and they take him out successfully. But it's just one kill, and all the BKBs were popped.
Radiant's middle tower.
One time the press kid jumps on in without his BKB and isn't dying.
Yeah.
Like, when he gets the BKB, Empire's gonna have like that weight lifted off them. Like the fight will feel so much nicer because it's not like Toronto Tokyo is so quick with the Orchid. Like every single time the Storm Spirit's jumping in, he's always snapping straight on, getting that Orchid effect onto Storm and making him feel pretty weird in the fight. But yeah, Empire. They can win fights so easily, but it's about them being in the right position. And when you lose 2 racks like this, and you only have that one bottom one to defend, it's rough.
Oh man, that's
a lot of damage.
That's a crazy amount of damage from a support for the I have to say.
And he doesn't have buyback.
That's true. Yeah, that is actually pretty big. That's 2 minutes with no Phoenix.
He doesn't have it in 40 seconds though. It's on cooldown from a previous buyback.
Yeah, but Team Spirit, I mean, they don't have Axe as well.
Exactly.
So it'll end up aligning.
The real question is, does Axe have bots? Oh, he put in his quick buy, but he doesn't actually have the bots. Because maybe we could have seen a play where he bots in.
I didn't notice he had Octarine, by the way.
Yes.
My goodness.
That just appeared out of nowhere.
Yatoro, all right, gets jumped on. Spirit, not actually going to connect into the arena itself, and actually pops his BKB surprisingly. Jumps in onto the press kid. Just going for the racks, though, and yeah, with the lack of damage here, I don't blame him.
Kind of laughing at them a little bit.
Yeah, he's just going to continue. They actually don't do anything. It's crazy. With a nice initiation again, the press kid gets silenced. Now the curse grab. He's actually getting beaten by his own teammate, and down he goes. 2 minutes. No Storm Spirit. They take out the Omni Knight as well, but he buys back into the game. Smiling Knight, no God Strength for a couple seconds.
No big
The Rack still technically alive. Toronto Tokyo deep within their base here. And looks like he's feeling very safe as that is the God Strength, but Smiling Knight looks like he's just getting chopped down into oblivion. And Collapse Knight looking for a second. Has that refresher. More than enough damage. And this looks like a full team wipe into a loss for Empire. Means they're out of the tournament. Team Spirit moves on.
Yeah, well deserved from Team Spirit. They play with the aura of